Hello there, fellow holotable holokingers.
And welcome to another Galactic Challenge video. Now before I get into today's video, let me give you a warning that attempting to do max crate, it's a bit of a bantha poodoo of an RNG fest. It definitely took me about 20 or so attempts to align the RNG, but I could even see this, taking more attempts. So definitely do that at your own risk. But otherwise, at least the gold crate and silver crate should be obtainable, hopefully, quite easily. So today we have 3 levels of the challenge, so I'll start with level 1, getting the silver crate, so you got your 2 Omicrons, then I'll go on to level 2, which will give you then gold crate, and if you are mad enough to attempt for the max crate, I'll have level 3. There's a lot of annoying things since today's challenge, but more once I get into it. As always, the YouTube chapter below if you're interested. Just skip through to the level you're interested in. Otherwise, let's just kick off with the global modifier, and oh boy, I guess this is one of the roughly annoying global modifiers, because every 10 turns all defeated characters are revived. Now these revives can be prevented, so how normally we got around this is to find a way to prevent revives and slowly then pick enemies off one by one. But CG, in all their wisdom, decided that today they will give us a feat that we need to have not 3, not 4, but 5 Tuskens. And guess what? Tuskens got no AoEs, they got no ways to prevent revives, but enemy on the other side, like Django, if he defeats during his turn anybody, they can't be revived, right? And so does as well Mandalorian with his disintegrate. If he gets it out, no revives. So it's a bit of an unfair challenge today, because enemies have multiple ways to prevent revives, whereas we don't. But hey, we're still able to prevail with a lot of persistence and patience if you want. So anyway, let's move on to the fun modifiers. So we got a Tusken ambush. It's a very fun one. We get extra health, extra defense, and extra speed. But even this extra speed is not enough to outrun Django. He's really fast, and on top of it all we get the ambush. Now this apparently has now been fixed, so we had issues with momentum feat not counting correctly. Apparently now it has been fixed, so hopefully you shouldn't have too much issues as well there getting the momentum feat done. So with the ambushed, whenever Tusken allies they hit the ambushed enemy, you gain a momentum, and as well you can ignore the taunt to target at that enemy. It's definitely a very powerful modifier there for your Tuskens. And in terms of the enemy modifier, 3 Lord Hunt, just a standard bounty hunting modifier. They start with 9 stacks of true defense, which for this particular challenge doesn't even matter, because it's a marathon, not a sprint today. However, if they do get their contract off, they'll get frenzies, and then things can get out of hand very quickly. Now in terms of feats, as mentioned before, we need a full team of Tusken units. Yikes. Let's hope that this is not a trend going forward, that it's just a one-off, but probably it's not, right? Who am I kidding? Other 2 feats are gain momentum 150 times, so that's the feat that in the latest, I think, notes from one of the fixes, they did mention it has been fixed, that it now counts correctly, so hopefully we will not have issues anymore with momentum feat not being counted correctly. And finally, win without losing a unit. So apart from the full Tusken units, their team, the other 2 feats I think are quite easily achievable. Now let's start off first with level 1 challenge, and this is heading over to tier 10 to get your momentum feat done, and this will unlock the silver crate. So some sort of a bounty hunter team, I think it's gonna be a good way to go. Obviously, if you do have Galactic Legends, by all means do use them. Going with Bosk lead, just so we can get contract very quickly, because luckily no pre-taunts on the enemy side, and aside from Django and Grief, those guys aren't particularly fast. So I didn't really have to remod my bounty hunters. They're kind of, Grief there and Bosk, they have some good speed on them, because they're really the engine of this team to keep everything going. Let's hop in a battle now, and let me show you how I play this. Django goes first. Unfortunately, when you're burning with Django in there, you can't gain bonus turn meter, so now when we do get assists, unfortunately we won't be gaining bonus turn meter there from Mando's unique whenever he critically hits, but still got there 2 assists out, contract triggered, and now just waiting for Mando to get a turn so I can finally disintegrate somebody. Okay, now to get a few turns in there, come on Mando, get a turn. So definitely having more speed on my guys would be helpful. Let's put a big hit on their Mando, try to get him down so he doesn't use Disintegrate. But first things first, take out Django. He's the biggest threat. He can prevent revives during his turn, which he defeats somebody. And then the second target there should be Mando. That's why with the Django, I put a big hit on him and put another hit with Django there, so he's not coming back either. And now the final threat here is really old Boba. So next Disintegrate will go on him, because his AoEs can start doing some damage and can also then cause them to gain contract and things like that. So you definitely want to take him down also. And once he's down, then it's just a case of delaying the battle. Let's go ahead and knock him out. And now these two guys, they don't have AoE. So now what I'm doing is just using basic attacks, going on boss, because Griff is all the time in stealth. Then Griff is constantly healing him up. So just doing basic attacks, except obviously with Boba, old Boba there, I'm just constantly spamming specials to keep gaining momentum. And at this point, I'm like, I probably got enough momentum, I hope. Disintegrated their Griff as well. So just a case of stalling long enough, trying to guess, without a built-in tracker, did I get 150 momentum? I did this time. So definitely think a bounty hunter team is a way to go here to get this momentum feat done. Okay, so this now completes level 1 challenge, which will give you silver crate and your 2 Omicrons. So if that's it, you've got very, very bad Tuskens. Doesn't matter, take your Omicrons and enjoy the rest of the week. If you want to attempt the level 2 challenge, what you will want to do is head down to tier 6, bring out your Tuskens, and if you do complete this with Tuskens, you will then unlock the gold crate. So just showing my Tuskens, obviously I have here gear 8 on my Tusken Chieftain, 3-star, is not farmable yet. The other guys are relicked, the older OG Tuskens, because obviously 2 of them are needed for unlocking Galactic Legends, and Shaman, actually I did have him halfway geared up because of way back tank raid, and then Tusken Warrior there we go, not really doing a whole lot. Now I do have both Zetas on the Tusken Chieftain, so that maybe helps as well probably. But on that, the strategy is just keep hitting Mandalorian to begin with, because he's ambushed. You need to get 10 stacks of momentum as quickly as you can, so then whenever the guys attack you, they will get stunned. So there you go, boss there did mass assist and everybody got stunned because they hit one of my Tuskens that had more than 10 stacks of momentum. Otherwise, it's a pretty straightforward affair here, at least for my Tuskens in tier 6. I didn't really exactly know what I'm doing still, because I'm not really using Tuskens anywhere, to be honest. So I'm just kind of spreading the damage, because we have no way of preventing revives. So if we just kind of a little bit spread the damage, let those damage over time build up, and taking these guys out, and then eventually, once they are all in low health, even if they do come back revived, you can kind of overpower them. So you can see there, a Relic Tusken Raider doing some nice damage. There we go, got Mando down. Now it's the case of taking out Bosk and Grief before his guys are revived. So there we go, down he goes as well. So definitely tier 6 with this kind of Tuskens that I have, it was not challenging at all. Now this will now complete tier 6 Tuskens feat, and you unlocked level 2 challenge, which will give you the gold crate, which obviously again comes with 2 Omicrons and some little bit more other material, relic materials and stuff. Now if you really want to go up to the level 3 challenge, let's hop over back onto tier 10 and bring out my Tuskens again. Now I did have to beef up my Tuskens ever so slightly, so I bumped Tusken Chieftain from gear 8 to gear 9, and then Tusken Warrior actually had to bump her from gear 8 to gear 10, because she's a lot more squishy than Chieftain, and at gear 9 she just wasn't able to survive long enough that she could make a difference. And on top of it all, I did put both Zetas on her as well. I'll show you once we get to her. And I also remodded now all my Tuskens, obviously the weaker ones, Tusken Chieftain, just modded him for as much health, and then all 4 protection primaries just to make him as survivable as I can. And then for the other guys, Tusken Raider, I modded him for speed and some critical damage. Uror are modded for speed and potency, because his basic has like 60% chance to stun. And then Tusken Shaman I just modded for speed. And then finally Tusken Warrior, I did slap on her both Zetas. I also remodded her, same as the Chieftain, for health sets with all protection primaries, just to make her as survivable as I can. Now in terms of 2 Zetas, what I think will be required here to complete this, because as you can see, this unique one, whenever a momentum is removed, gain 10 stacks of momentum. So it's an extra there momentum for Warrior. And why Warrior is crucial here, momentum for her, because once you slap Zeta on her special finishing strike, this ability will have different effects on how many stacks. So 15 plus stacks of momentum, it will deal massive damage to the target, and that's where your core damage will be coming from when you have to quickly finish somebody off. As you will see, it will come clutch in my situation. So did have to remodel my guys, slap both Zetas on Warrior, and let's hope for the best. Okay, so they go first. So as you can see, we were able to survive Django's AoE, which is a good start. And I'm just going to start doing basics here just to gain 10 stacks of momentum as quickly as I can. So whenever they hit me now, they will get stunned. There we go. They got a mass assist there from Grief, and everybody got stunned. Now Grief sometimes starts off with his mass assist, sometimes with retribution. So again, different RNG, it will play a big part of this. So if you really want to go, you just have to keep trying until you get it through. And otherwise, just keep hitting there Mandalorian, because he's got ambush, so you get extra stacks of momentum. It's all about getting momentum on your guys. There we go, another special there. Keep going after Mando. A bit of RNG there, like if Django with his rocket would target my Warrior, she would have been killed, not coming back. So again, lots of RNG in this one when you do have low gear Tuskens. But I'll just keep hitting Mando, just keep stacking that momentum. There we go, my chieftain there barely surviving, was able to heal up, booster meter, and now let's start turning things around. There we go, massive damage, boom, down goes Mandalorian. Now Grief is ambushed, so we can go after Grief. We were able to survive there, another AoE from Django. Mando's back, I lost chieftain, but it was Boba that defeated him, so he will be able to come back. Just kind of keep hitting here Grief, just to keep stacking momentum, keep going after Mando, keep stacking momentum on him. And this is when actually Grief putting up retribution can work in your favor, because now you can target whoever's got retribution, and if your guy has more than 10 stacks of momentum, they will get stunned. Again, a bit of RNG luck there. Boss there targeted one of my Tuskens that had more than 10 stacks of momentum, so everybody got stunned. So that's where the whole RNG comes into play. Obviously, will Django be an idiot and target your stronger Tuskens, not the weaker ones? And then obviously as well, whenever you do have 10 stacks of momentum, will they actually target your Tuskens that got so much momentum on them? So it's a lot of RNG involved, but I just want to show you it is possible. So obviously the higher gear your Tuskens are, probably less RNG dependent this will be. But there we go, just kind of spreading the damage, trying to get these guys out. There we go, got some assist. See if we can get Django out. Down he goes. Let's go after Mando now. Booster meter to my Tuskens. Hopefully get some nice assists here. So Mando goes down, perfect. And there you go, with the next turn everybody would get revived. I had there a big hit, special damage, finished off there, old Boba, and this unlocked max crate. So again, repeat, this is an absolutely banta poodoo of an RNG fest. Just to let you know, so maybe you just want to take the silver, gold, or you can attempt for red crate if you do want to waste a lot of time on this. But at least we know it is possible, as long as obviously you are ready to invest a lot of times and a lot of retries. So definitely your patience will be tested with this one. Thank you for watching, I'll see you in the next one, but until then, have fun, enjoy your life, and may the RNG be with you, my friends.